Is there more money in gaming than in, let's say, movies?
Than in movies, absolutely yes, right? So if you look at the global media and entertainment spend reports globally, you would see that games industry definitely makes more money than your traditional movie streaming and music industries combined. That just talks about the monetization potential of this industry, right? So we can probably add media and entertainment reports on the show notes when you're sharing this out. But the industry globally already is probably much more larger from a revenue perspective than other media and entertainment industries. Yes.
So I have a weird question for you in the sense that, like, why are not either game characters or game players as popular as, let's say, movie stars or pop stars? Do you have a theory on that?
I think it's a question that would have been relevant probably 7 or 10 years back. But now, if you ask me, uh, the real reason why they are not as popular is we are just asking the wrong people, or we are hanging out with the wrong people. Because some of the most popular people in the world right now are gaming streamers. For example, PewDiePie runs one of the largest YouTube channels globally, and he started out as a game streamer, right? The movie stars, for example, of Dune, which got released recently, he started as a game streamer, right? Now, while it is hard for a truly new, innovative IP and content to come out and then strike that pop culture resonance and become part of culture, that's a quite hard journey to make. But there have been real stars that have emerged out of the gaming ecosystem, either by sort of streaming these gameplay experiences and creating their own audience and distribution. But I guess your question was more around why doesn't in-game characters really become large enough? And I guess that is really because of the nature of this business themselves, right? For example, you would see that a lot of people who have traditionally played shooter games since the early 2000s would probably resonate very well with Surgeon Price, who was the main character of Call of Duty from back in the days, and they sort of build that franchise around it. Another example, which is probably slightly not what you would call as a traditional character, is the birds in Angry Birds, right? Uh, Red and Chuck have become extremely popular characters. The games itself have survived for more than 10 years, become proper IPs, and they have spawned movies, right? So the trend that has become really interesting to look at is what I like to call as the transmedia trend, right? Where IPs that are generated in one industry sort of like seamlessly moves across to another, right? For example, The Witcher, which was an RPG game which was released in 2014-15, was extremely popular, made by a developer studio in Poland called CD Projekt Red. Became extremely popular and extremely successful, and now there are Netflix series about it, right? And it goes both ways, where movie content, Disney IP that has generally been quite successful, like Star Wars, are generally licensed out, and then game versions sort of get made out of them, right? So I think it is really the fact that content and followership itself manifests across these content formats than the other way around. While it's true that a truly innovative, content format can really create a star, but I think a lot of it is actually backwards, going backwards from what is really popular and has some degree of cultural relevance, being distributed in different formats, catering to a different audience need.
Can you clarify your Dune comment? I didn't get that actually. Did you say that the star, the actor in
Yes,
the Dune started off as
yes,
the
he started
Timothy
with a game.
Chalamet?
Yes. So he was a game streamer.
Really?
He had a fairly significant followership by playing and streaming games, and is massively popular in the gaming crowds, right? So he's a popular star right now. Logan Paul, Jake Paul, they all probably started off their career doing game streaming, doing content in Twitch, and now they're transmedia stars. They're doing everything from content to MMA to presence in movies, etc. So quite a lot of that crossovers already exists. It's just that we have to look at it closer. And if you look at the Eastern markets, this trend is even further accelerated, right? In markets like Japan, the trend of celebrities crossing over to games and game celebrities crossing over to traditional media has always been there, and it is quite powerful. And that's a trend that we just expect that it will continue to happen over a period of time.